So I would say the big change is going to be, I think HMOs are probably going to become, well, there's certainly going to be a lot more demand for HMOs. So I would say if I'm going forward 10 years, I think anyone that's invested in HMOs and sticks it out, and once we've ridden this inflation and cost of living crisis, and you know, again, Warren Buffett's been there. Anyone that's been in business for their lifetime will know that there are peaks
It's
and
a
troughs.
cycle, yeah. It's the next few years is going to be tough.
But it's the people that once we start coming out of this, there will be a boom. Unfortunately, it's boom and bust. So I think if you can hang on to what you've got, you're going to do really well. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I think that anyone that's investing in serviced accommodation is going to be entering into a much more competitive market. And as with HMOs, there's going to be a lot more regulation coming into the market, because that's just what happens. So I think that again, with serviced accommodation, there's going to be a lot of losers, because it's going to become more difficult. It's going to become more costly because of the regulations that have come in. So I think that long term, I don't think there's going to be much of a change. I think that, you know, there's going to be more of a shortage of houses, if anything. I think there's going to be another boom at some point, but it's going to be a smaller and smaller pool of people. It's very difficult to predict what's going to happen longer term, but I think that the difference between, I also think it's debatable, but is there going to be a revolution in the way business works? Because I think that the difference between the rich and the poor has got a lot wider. The difference between people's wages and the cost of property has got wider. So how far can that piece of elastic stretch? We're having a lot of discontent at the moment with people striking because of the way they're being treated, and because businesses now don't reinvest, they pay their dividends. So hopefully there's going to be a revolution. I wouldn't say I'm a left winger, but I would say I have left wing tendencies, even though I'll probably vote Lib Dem, because I would never vote either of the two. But there could be a revolution if things get too far and the elastic band stretches. But again,
it's happening in other parts of the world.
Again, Warren Buffett, let's quote Warren Buffett, invest when there's blood on the streets.
Yeah, there's more, is it saying there's more millionaires are made during recessionary times than at any other time?
Yeah, so I think there's going to be, I think if you can, I can't predict, but I would say that I think there's going to be huge demand for shared accommodation, which means there'll be a drop in standards. Because if people would just rent anything, then people won't make any effort. There tends to be no creativity in that kind of market.
And I think based in Birmingham, we have a huge problem with HMOs in the mostly the supportive living sector, the unlicensed HMOs, the ones that the exempt accommodation. So is the word I was looking for. The exempt accommodation HMOs. There's a massive problem with those. Birmingham's been rife with problems, and they're trying to sort it out at the moment. But if you see some of that accommodation, it's exceptionally poor quality, and it's provided to people that desperately need a home. So I understand what you're saying when the way the market is now in terms of the regulation that's there, which is quite limited, that there will be poor quality accommodation because there'll just be this massive demand for people to want to stay somewhere, and they'll accept poor quality.
Well, that's it. Where there's high demand, there's very little creativity, and this is why co-living became popular, is because everyone was getting into HMOs, and when that happens, demand drops, and then people have to start getting creative and differentiating themselves. But now it's going the other way, where there's now huge demand, and so you'll probably get a lot of people taking advantage of the situation.